Chuck and Bob with you as we preview the high school basketball weekend on social media. What a weekend it will be. Let's take a look first in the boys' side of the Northern Lakes Conference, where Northridge will go on over to McEwen Gym and take on a much improved Concord team on Friday night. Boy Scott Radiker's team is playing well right now, Bob. Northridge has won 7 out of its last 8.
Well, they found a big answer inside in Blake Jacobs, but boy, the outside shooting is unbelievable. Carter and Clay Stolfus, and of course, Sammy Smith, he is outstanding. Here he is, a little fall-away jumper, and this is a team that loves to shoot it from the outside, but again, as soon as you go out on the perimeter, they take the ball and drive it to the basket. Very good offensive team.
I would take my chances there. I know that 2 is less than 3, so I'd rather give up the 2 than the 3. But that's going to be the dilemma for Derek Deshone and the Minutemen. You saw Concord play on Tuesday night, Bob, against St. Joe. They've got a nice, improving team. Not a lot of pure basketball players, a lot of hybrid athletes like Jack D'Arcy and Zaven Koltukian.
Yeah, they're big guys, strong guys, and they're doing a good job, obviously, for Coach Deshone. But they've got some other people on the team. Fish has to be their outside shooter if they're going to be successful. And they've got a little bit of depth. Nixon comes off the bench, did a nice job at the guard position. And I just think that it's a team that they're athletes, but they're not necessarily pure basketball players like you see from Northridge.
Now, Concord was in that NLC race until they lost to Mishawaka Saturday. Let's talk for a moment about the Mishawaka Cavemen. You know how many conference basketball titles Mishawaka has won in the last 70 years? Uno, por favor. 1. They did it in 2005, but they can add to the resume on Friday night when Mishawaka plays host to Northwood. And of course, when you're talking about Mishawaka, you talk about Trent Johnson. For my money, one of the top players in the area.
Well, and you got to give credit to Ron Heklinski, the job he's done. You know, Mishawaka could win the Northern Lakes Conference, and nobody other than Northridge and Warsaw has won it in the last 7 years. So this is a big step for Mishawaka to get in there. Started off with a loss to Marian. They won 10 in a row. It's a very impressive team, and I think you got to, as you mentioned, Trent Johnson has just been outstanding for them. Caleb Williams doing a good job. Lucas Yohe has been a factor. And
Maddox Yohe, yeah.
Maddox Yohe, and of course my favorite guy. Well, I like him. He's a freshman, Tommy Herringer, who has had some really good games inside for Mishawaka.
Now, Northwood, they're trying to solve the puzzle right now. They started out 7-1 on the year, but now they're 9-6. They've lost 3 in a row. And I guess you could chalk it up somewhat, Bob, to the fact that they're a very young team still. Their 2 leading scorers are both sophomores in Brenner and Rash.
Right, and people have scouted them now, and they know what they want to do, and they're going to have to expand their playbook a little bit as time goes on, but they're both very good young players, and they've got a great leader in Ben Vincent. I think Cooper Weens is a guy that needs to not only get on the boards, but also shoot from the outside to help this team. Again, they've got a good start. They've got a great coach in Aaron Wolf, and I think he'll build this team over the years. But boy, Mishawaka, this is a game, we talked about this earlier. I feel so bad because when Mishawaka went to the Northern Lakes Conference, you're dreaming about matchups like this, Northwood, Mishawaka, because you packed the place. It'll be really rocking. Can't do it yet. We got to stay safe, but this is going to be a great game.
They're letting more fans in Mishawaka these days, and here's another place that will be in Mishawaka on Friday night. And we'll see if they can keep it to 400 or not like they say they will, and that is St. Joe and Marian at Demetrius Jackson Court on the campus of Marian High School. Let's start out talking about the St. Joe Indians, the team that you scouted on Tuesday night. And this guy, he's good, J.R. Konechny.
He's not good, he's great. He's a great high school player. And one of the things that really stands out on his stat sheet is he's not only the leading scorer at 30 points a game, and leading rebounder, but he's also their leading assist man. So he's a great team player, and the guys he's playing with really respect him, and they like to help him get the ball, and they were all happy the other night when he set the all-time St. Joe record for scoring.
In fact, number 5 in St. Joe County overall. They're going to need the guys like Will Terry and Jack Fuda and everybody else on the roster step up, because I had the opportunity to scout Marian on Tuesday night, Bob. And let me tell you, Rob Berger's team right now is probably playing as good a defense as any team in the area. They are just long and lanky, and sometimes you look out there and you think they're playing 7 guys on the floor.
And that is going to be a crucial thing to try to stop J.R. Konechny, because if you collapse on him in the paint, he can dump it off to Terry and also to Fuda. But Marian's got great balance. They've got Declan Sullivan, a sophomore. He's over 500 points in his career already. Kyrell Franklin is 6'4", is very impressive. Kaleo Kakalea has done a nice job, and I think Richard Brooks is the guy that's really come into his own in his first year being eligible to play in the NIC.
Don't forget my boy Mitchell Menting, who hit 3 threes in the second half the other night against New Prairie, scored a career-high 16 points. So this one should be a ton of fun. We can't wait to bring it to you. Number 8, St. Joe. Number 4, Marian. We'll have it for you live on Facebook, YouTube, and the Champions Network at 7:45, and then on TV-46 Friday night at 11. But you know what? That's only half the weekend, because on Saturday, it's girls basketball regionals all around the area. And Bob, we're going to start with a game that I think, for my money, may be the best regional semifinal matchup across the state. That's in 2A at Winnemac. North Judson, 18-5, taking on Andrea, 18-1. When you talk about Chris Neubauer's North Judson Blue Jays for the last 4 years, you've been talking about Lily Frazier.
And with good reason. She's a very good player. And again, if she got more publicity maybe outside of North Judson St. Pierre, she might have a better credit to her name, but she's been outstanding all 4 years. And she's got a younger sister on the team, Sophia, who's also a very good player. So the Frazier name will be very popular down at North Judson for some time to come. But they've also got Carolyn Dusek, they've got Olivia Burkett, and Abby Chambers. So this is a team that really knows who they are, and with that kind of senior leadership, they'll be impressive.
They'll need all of them to take on this Andrean team that comes in with a record of 18-1. The 59ers with Julia Schutz and Tori Allen and Diamond Blair. That's a very good three-pronged scoring attack for Tony Schutt's team.
Boy, and anytime you've got 3 players averaging about 15 points a game, who are you going to guard? Who are you going to put your best defender on? Because you don't have enough to guard all 3 of them. But they're also a very tough group. The 59ers played a really tough schedule this year, and they've had some big wins over the course of the year. And again, at 18-1, nothing but respect for the 59ers going into that game.
One of the teams that Andrean beat during the regular season is Merrillville. And Merrillville is in the Class 4A Regional. They'll start off with Penn. You know, a lot of people looking forward to a possible showdown in the regional finals between Penn and number 2 Crown Point. But first, Christy Ulrich and her squad have to take care of business against the Pirates. And of course, when you're talking about Penn, there's 2-time NIC MVP Trinity Clinton, and it's round up the usual suspects, as they said in Casablanca.
Yeah, you got to be so careful not to overlook Merrillville, but you know, the players for Penn have done such a great job this year. Caitlin Costner, who's heading to Ohio State. We've got Jordan Smith, who runs the point, does a nice job. And the Graces on the team are great. Grace Shutt, and also you've got Grace Adams, but Jada Patton might be the difference inside for Penn.
Meanwhile, when you take a look at Merrillville, Tori Miller, Kaylin DeLosa, I know Miller had a really big game against Lake Central in the sectional final, and they're going to need them to really step up, but the Pirates aren't going to walk the plank right on out of the tournament.
No, and they're probably hoping the Penn is overlooking them, because this is what you want. I mean, they're 14-5, but 3 of their losses are against really top competition in the season. And again, 33 points in any game is impressive, but to do it in a sectional championship game like Tori Miller did, that's very impressive. And they had 10 three-pointers in that championship game, so they can shoot on the perimeter, and so Penn's going to have to get out on it.
Amy Govert, it's not her first rodeo over there at Merrillville. She will have her team well prepared for this one. And then we will be over at the Jimtown Regional on Saturday afternoon as Steve Reynolds and the Washington Panthers make that school's first regional appearance since the days of Skylar Diggins, as they go and take on a surprising Kankakee Valley team. When you talk about Washington, Steve Reynolds doesn't have to look far to find his best players, just a small little branch down the family tree.
Yeah, and they're riding to school with him in the morning. His 2 daughters have been really impressive, and he has done a great job. 7 years as a head coach at Washington High School, and Mila is outstanding. Mila Reynolds is going to go to Maryland, play her college basketball, and she's just a junior, and has really matured. She's really filled out. She's a big, strong young lady, and I think she'll be the focus for them.
I like the leadership of Rashunda Jones in that backcourt, too. She's also an all-NIC player. But when you take a look at Kankakee Valley, remember, this is a team that rallied from 14 points down in the fourth quarter to upset Knox in the sectional championship. Doug Nelson told me his team is playing its best ball of the year here at tourney time when you want a team to peak. And they've got Taylor Schoonveld and Lily Toppin playing well right now. Don't count the Cougars out of this.
Kate Thomas does a nice job for them as well.
Yeah.
One of the things about this game that really excites me is that there's only one senior in the starting lineup on each team. These two teams could meet again next year at the same level, but it's going to be exciting to see, you have so many young people on a team, how do they handle being in a regional? How do they handle being on a different floor? And it's going to be a challenge for both, but I'm just thrilled about the fact that we're going to get a chance to do this game.
Tempo will be crucial in this one, too. Washington scoring about 61 points a game. I don't think KV wants to go at that pace. We'll find out what happens. You can watch it live behind the IHSA paywall at 1 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, or you can watch it on TV-46 Saturday afternoon at 4. Until then, for Bob Nagle, it's Chuck Freeby. Thanks for joining us today on Social Media.